Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel English Literature. Today we are going to talk about Khushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan. It is a widely acclaimed novel by Khushwant Singh. We will not go details about the author here because our focus is in the novel, but we must learn about Khushwant Singh, whose actual name is Kushal Singh, in details because his literary work is a canon and there are so vast thing to discuss. He demands a separate video about him. Okay, now come to his novel Train to Pakistan. It was published in 1956 and total number of pages is 192. The novel is not so elaborate, not so bulky, but the novel is punchy. When you read a novel, you will feel that you get absorbed in it, and there is so many things beyond the pages. So many emotions are seeping within you. Those are beyond those pages. Memory, anguish, separation. Now backdrop. The setting of the novel we will talk first. Set up in the historical background of partition in 1947. The year 1947, the year of freedom, the year of pain, the year of blood, year of separation. Train to Pakistan by Khushwant Singh is a masterpiece of literature. The unresolved massacre and bloodshed are documented very emphatically yet cogent manner by the author. The book is divided into 4 parts. You have to remember these 4 parts. Sorry. Dacoity, Kalyug, Mano Majra and Karma. Contemporary India, torn up in racial violence and hatred, is miniatured in the little village Mano Majra. Mano Majra is a symbolic village, is the imagination of the writer. It is situated at the remote reaches of the frontier. From the frontier, it is very far in the inland and only decorated with 3 brick buildings. Keep in mind these 3 brick buildings. Sorry. The house of Lala Ramlal, the moneylender, 1 Sikh temple and 1 mosque. So these are the 3 brick buildings situated in Mano Majra. Lala Ram was the only Hindu in that village, whereas all the landowners were Sikh, and those who worked in the lands and shared the tilling are the Muslim. So different community, different men of caste live together happily, at least at peace and harmony and in unity. Who are they? Hindu, Sikh and Muslims, and they had no problem because they share the same God, that is called the Dev. There is 1 Sikh temple and there is 1 mosque, and they have no problem with this partition, with these high flown ideas like a new nation, new country, separation. They have no such attachment with those things. The villagers were ignorant of the world outside and its happenings. They even didn't know why the British left the country, that our country is getting freedom. But it does not affect the common people so much. So why the common people are here? And who are those common people? Who are those mob? The common peoples are just the pawn of political and spiritual game, you can say. Not spiritual in the sense, religious game. The mob, the common people are used as a pawn just for religious and political game. They are used for agitation, for spreading agitation. They are used for causing violence, bloodshed, for spreading rumors. If you go through the history of any nation, you will find that these people are just used again and again by the political leaders and religious preachers for their own benefit. But in actually, they had no relation with those things. Those things never affect their lives. We live in this little village and know nothing. They asked Iqbal. Who is Iqbal? Iqbal is a very highly intellectual person who knows everything and does nothing. That is Iqbal. And Iqbal about the British and the outer world. Iqbal realized independence meant little or nothing to these people. And Khushwant Singh excels his brilliancy in unfolding this naked truth so amiably, yet in a detached satiric tone. If you go through the novel, you'll feel that Khushwant Singh is nowhere. The writer is nowhere there with you. Only you are reading the novel, and only you belongs to the other characters. The characters belongs to you. The characters belong to you. But there is no writer, there is no Khushwant Singh. So that is the detached tone of the writer, and that detached tone makes the novel more acceptable and more vulnerable at the same time. Okay. And the condition remains the same even if the kings and queens exchange their throne. So even the kings and queens exchange their throne, even different colors of flag are hoisted. Nothing changed the life of common people. But the peaceful scenario of Mano Majra changed as the heat of the outer world reached even in that secluded hamlet. The harmony loses its track in conflict and bloodshed. So there are three communities, Muslim, Sikh, Hindu, and they had no problem till the conflict, the conspiracy of the outer world reached there. The Muslims had to leave for refugee camp, and because they will plan to take them to the Pakistan. Another country is made for them. Suddenly you are here and you are told that okay, we have made another country for you. Go there. And who are living there, they are telling, don't live there. This is for the Muslims. You go there. So this is a game, political game, and we are just a victim. We have nothing to do. We kill our brother, we rape our sister, and we have nothing to do because our brain is washed and we cannot think. We are just a pawn, we are just a marionettes at their hand, the political leaders. They had the power to misguide us. They had the power to force us to take weapons once against our brothers and sisters. So we have nothing to do. Peace and unity broke in Mano Bajra in India. Now come to the characters. The major characters, we must know about them. Lala Ramlal, we get the name earlier. The moneylender of Mano Bajra, only Hindu family. And at the very beginning of the novel, he will be robbed and killed by a vicious young dacoit gang, whose leader is Mali. But Mali will put the blame on Jaggu or Jaggat Singh. Jaggat Singh is a dacoit, but at the same time he is the hero of the novel, because from when we meet Jaggat Singh, Jaggu, he never, Jugga, we don't find him engaged in dacoity, but we find him engaged in love with Nuran. We find him engaged or sacrificed his life to save the train to Pakistan. Nuran is the beloved of Jugga. I feel wild Jaggu because there is a cartoon, Chota Bhim, and there is a character Jaggu, the monkey. Hukum Chand is the deputy commissioner of Mano Majra. Iqbal Singh, the educated man from Delhi, who talk everything but do nothing, who was mistaken as a member of the Muslim League and was pushed into jail for some days. Mit Singh, the priest of the Sikh temple in Mano Majra, you have to keep this name in, who was the priest? Mit Singh. Banta Singh, local authority who collects tax. At the end of the novel, he discloses the plan of Muslim slaughter on the train to Pakistan. So who discloses the plan of the Sikhs, that the train which is going to Pakistan taking all the refugees is planned to destroyed or in mass slaughter by Sikhs is by Banta Singh. Banta Singh will disclose this truth to the Police. Blood-soaked memories. The image of brutalities is scattered here and there like blood-soaked memories. The writer did not describe much, did not interpret much, did not explain much. I told you that the novel is only 100, almost 200 pages, but there is some laconic verse, but those are punchy. That will crash your heart, slash your memories. A train full of dead bodies. Some images just like a train full of dead bodies. Vulture feasting on corpses. Migration. Floating bodies in the river like logs. These words, these images are enough to clog your brain with cold blood, with nightmares. Gifting a new bride her husband's cut-away penis and rape of her by a violent mob are enough to call the blood in ice. Khushwant Singh adroitly sketches the picture of horror and insanity. It is insanity. Obviously it is insanity. The people engaged in this massacre are insane. They are brainwashed. But the people who are there in the upper floor and who are planning this massacre are not insane in the common sense, but they are most insane because they are engaging, they are causing these things. So there is subplot along with the story of hatred and violence. There was a parallel love story of Nuran. Nuran loves Jugga, a Muslim, and Jugga, a Sikh dacoit. So this is the love story. But the dacoits who killed the moneylender also nipped in bud the love. Why? Because Mali will put the blame on Jugga and police will arrest Jugga. But Nuran later find that he is bearing the child of Jugga. And when it will be told that all the Muslims had to go to Pakistan, then Nuran will come to Jugga's mother and told her again and again, pleaded her again and again that he is going to be the mother of Jugga's child. But Jugga must go in search of her. Plot and characterization. Every character in this book is dynamic. They are not static character. I can relate them, also you can relate them when you read the novel with your surroundings. The highly intellectual yet supine Iqbal. This character is just, I feel that this character is a universal character. You will find this everywhere. In coffee shop, in bus stop, everywhere you find Iqbals are there. Talk much in high flown language, promises much more, but it ultimately did nothing. And notorious thug Jugga, or the arrogant bloodthirsty youth who mobilized the mobs in his plan of massacre. I find these three characters very interesting. One is Iqbal, who is an idealistic man, but only drinks wine and keep his idealistic dreams calm. And there is Jugga, who is totally go through his emotions, but did the right thing at the right moment, and even sacrificed his life to save the person who was not from his caste or community. He is a Sikh dacoit, and he saves the life of 1,000 Muslims. He is the only sane man in this novel. And there is the youth who mobilized the mobs, the Sikh youth. He mobilized. So these youth represent our political heads who are there in the cold AC room to mobilize the mobs in doing such vicious thing to keep hold on their power. And this youth you will find everywhere. Everywhere in the dais you will find them. They are giving vicious speeches like your blood will get out of your body. As such speeches, they are going to turn upside down the country and making a new dress for it. This is the youth you will find everywhere, in every political party. And the character Nuran. The Nuran character just drew pity. Nuran has a helpless woman in this novel. Now, Hukum Chand. This is a character you have to remember. Hukum Chand is a flesh and blood man who is portrayed with all the mundane vices and inherent goodness in this book. Here Iqbal Singh, though he talks far but lacks the far himself. Police caught him on the false charge of mistaking him as Muhammad Iqbal, a member of Muslim League. When he was freed from jail, he did nothing to appease the situation. He decided to do nothing with the contemplation that this is his thought that if he sacrificed his life, that will be not so much important because people will remain unknown about that. So gulping a large amount of whiskey, he fell asleep. And who went to do the job for him? That is Jugga. A Muslim is not standing beside a Muslim, but a Sikh is going to save the Muslim. So who are his caste? Who are his community? Hope for humanity. It is not only a testament or tragedy, but also a tribute to human benevolence. Jugga, at the cost of his own life, saved the train and its people so that they could go to Pakistan. The ending of Jugga's life is very pathetic. The man shivered and collapsed. The rope snapped in the center as he fell. The train went over him and went to Pakistan. Every time I read this line, the train went over him and went to Pakistan, I feel something is happening inside me. I feel so sorry for Jugga and I feel so proud for Jugga. I so feel proud of Jugga. Slash of satire, Khushwant Singh with a detached observation sketches his story. But yes, I told you that anywhere you will not find Khushwant Singh, but you will find Khushwant Singh in the satiric tone, in the character portrayal. Iqbal. The Iqbal is Khushwant Singh's Iqbal. He does not support any caste, creed or religion. Here he does not give any personal opinion, does not show any personal reclination. But whatever he says or draws to the characters is obvious that there is a deep satiric morose tone. The horror with utmost sincerity. He portrays the horror with utmost sincerity. The slash of irony towards the character is so succinct and compendious and demands a salute for his pen. Okay, and you find these qualities like satire mingles with comedy and cynicism in Iqbal's impatient query to people who are praising the colonial system and demonstrating the British officials' better behavior than their own. So for common people, British are here or there, nothing changes their life because they feel the leaders of their own is more vicious than their. It is from the fire to the frying pan. Nothing else changes in their life. Why don't do people? But Iqbal is very serious. Why don't do people want to be free? Do you want to remain slaves all your lives? So being slave under the British, according to these common people, is just a concept. They will remain slave throughout their life. They will remain just a marionette throughout their life. They will be just used as a pawn throughout their life. Even British remain or British gone. The common people's condition will never change. They will always remain slave. Even now they are slave. They are used again and again to feed the whimsicality of the leaders. So what? The Lombarders said, freedom must be a good thing. But what will we get out of it? Yeah, the right question. You have to answer it. Educated people like you will get the jobs. So who will get the jobs? The people like you. You will get the profit. Will you get more lands or more buffaloes? Freedom is for the educated people who fought for it. We are slaves of the English and now we will be slaves of the educated Indians of the Pakistan. So these words are, I think, enough and more than enough to make the real situation understandable. That freedom has nothing to do with them and the change of political leaders or the change of government has nothing to do with them. And the hoisting of flags has nothing to do with them. Their life did not change. Train to Pakistan brings to light the disturbing story of partition. Khushwant Singh gripping our hands leads us on a visual journey of that era in this book. The way the author sets light on characters does not exhibit them as the marionettes at the writer's hands, but as vivacious flesh and blood character. Every character is involved in this drama. They are taking active participation in this clash and conflict. So, I feel you must go through Khushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan to understand more than I say. Okay, thank you.